Hea Tartuffi sõber, hea filmisõber, tere tulemast, rõõm, et oled meiega. Toimub vestlus filmitegijaga ja filmiks on täiuslik. Mina olen Liisi Rohumäe PÖFFi programmitiimist ja meil on toru otsas filmi täiuslik režissöörid ja asumegi nendega rääkima. So please welcome the writer-directors of Flawless, Sharon, Maymon and Granit.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome, guys. So if we could go to the beginning a little bit, and I know this all started with a news story one of you guys read about organ trafficking. So if you could talk a little bit about that, what was about that news that kind of inspired you to make that story, and what was the process like? Because yes, you start with this organ trafficking issue, but then it delves into all these other social issues. So if you could talk a little bit about that, please.
Well, I saw in the news a film. It was about three girls from Israel, from the south of Israel, that they went to Turkey. They sold their kidney, and they got surgery to increase their breasts. And immediately I told Tal about the story, and Tal said, that's our next movie. And, we both of us, we're gay, we are raising kids in Israel. And, we find a way to combine between those two stories. That's why we choose to deal with transgender in high school and to deal with this subject.
The story is so shocking, when we first heard, when Sharon told me about it, I couldn't imagine that someone will give their own body for to enlarge their breasts. And I can understand the pressure from the society, how we look, and the media and on young girls, but to sell something from your own body just for that, it seems very extreme.
Yeah, I agree. It's very scary, but it's true. But that's the thing. You talk so much about the image and kind of the pressure of the society.
Yeah.
And obviously you have these three main characters and their journey of becoming a woman. But obviously I want to zero in on the character of Eden. And please talk about finding your Eden, because it was a really long process. And then we have Stav Strashko, who's really amazing in the film. So how did you find her?
We knew that we have to cast a transgender actress to this role, because it's a film about truth, about her identity, about who she is, and we didn't want to cast a cisgender actress, so we were casting the movie for something like 1 year, and we saw lots of transgenders, girls, and after 1 year. We couldn't find Eden, and we came to our producer and told them we cannot do this film. There is no film if we will not do it with a cisgender actress. So and they told us, okay, let's stop the production. For now, we are not going to shoot the movie. But in this week, we read an article in Vogue about, it was with Stav Strashko. She came out of the closet as a transgender woman. And we immediately called our casting director. We told her, hey, connect us with Stav. She was Israeli, but at the time she was living in New York. She was working there as a model. And we had a Skype call with her the day after, and we had something like an audition, and she was amazing. We saw her when we knew that we found Eden.
Can you talk a little bit about working on the set or rehearsals? Because you had found your Eden, but she had never done a feature film before, let alone be a lead of a film. So what was that like going into like rehearsals and production?
When we decided that she would be Eden, she came to Israel. She came back to Israel, and we spent I think almost 1 month meeting her every day and talking about her all her journey that she has made. Because when she started, Stav was the model even when she was identified as a boy. And she made at the beginning, she went out of the closet and recognized herself as gay. And then the final getaway was when she came out as a transgender woman. So it was a lot of talking to see how she connects to this story. And it was amazing that she has so many points of connection to the story that we wrote. And that was the main job. And then, we made a lot of work with her, and she's so talented. So it was, she picked it really, really quickly. So it was a lot of work, a lot of connecting to the story and using her own experience.
If we could talk, you've been all over the world with this film and lots of festivals. But if we could, I would love to talk about the reception the film has had in Israel, because it got nominated for a lot of Israeli Academy Awards, and Stav got the first transgender woman to be nominated for Best Actress in Israel. So what did it surprise you? Was the reaction mostly positive, or how has that been?
I think the reaction was positive. A lot of, I know a lot of young people who went to see the picture like 3 and 4 times at the cinema, and I was, wow, they know everything by heart, and Stav is almost a role model for them, and they are not only from the gay community. From the LGBTQ community, not even cisgenders and heterosexual people, young people, really found something in the picture for themselves. And because I think that the picture, that the film doesn't speak about only the transition and being a transgender. It talks about identity, and everybody has few identities. Today, even we have more identities because we have an identity in the real life, an identity in the Instagram, and a different identity in Facebook, and different one in Twitter. So we really manage a lot of identities for ourselves. So that's why I think many young people connected to the film.
Yeah, I mean, it is very relatable. And I think growing up now and being a teenager now, it's so much more difficult than it was when we were younger. So if there is maybe one thing you would want or you would hope people to take away from this film, what would that be? And maybe for like younger girls especially?
Yeah. You want to start with the younger girl stuff?
It's difficult. It's very difficult. Even when we were kids, I think that it's much more emphasized today, as you said. But the dilemmas were also there. Body image and finding your way and yourself and your identity in the world. It's always been there. It's a very difficult journey. Everyone has to do it for themselves. There is no. I can say accept yourself as you are, but it's not possible at the beginning.
Yeah, I want to add that when we were young, as gays in Israel, we didn't have a role model in the cinema. There was lots of stereotype in the cinema and in the TV, and even in real life, we didn't have a role model, someone that we can look at. There was, in the 80s, it was a lot about the HIV, and it was scary to be a gay, and it was even not. I think that only in '84 it was illegal to be a gay in Israel. I mean, to have a gay life. And I think that as gay parents, both of us are parents, and it's very important to us, if we are working in the movies and we are telling stories, to bring this story out, about the gay community, about self-identity. We want, the young people to bring it to the mainstream, this subject.
Yeah, I think that's so important, and thank you so much for doing that, and thank you so much for the film, and thank you for joining us. This concludes the first part of our interview, but we're going to continue. Nii, hea filmihuviline, aitäh, et olid meiega ja näeme jälle. Okay, guys, I have some more questions. Could we talk about the use of color in this film? Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm very well might be wrong, but there's a lot of blues that you use, and like be it the background or the clothes, and then there's also a lot of like white and red in it. And I don't know, to me, it made me think at times of the transgender flag, but is that just accidental?
Yeah, I think it's more the American flag, blue, white, and red, because we feel that Israel is very influenced by what happens culturally, by what happens in the US, and it's like we are another star in the American flag, and. So this influence, I think, should be talked about. It's not all good and it's not all bad.
We wanted to criticize this influence.
I mean, yes. I think this goes to the idea of proms as well, because I was just astonished.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I've never seen anything like it, and I understand it's a true story. So the first scene where the guy shows up on a horse, this actually happened, right?
Yes, it happened. I heard about this story. It happened in high school in Israel, and it looks like a fantasy scene, but it came from real life.
That's crazy. And so
the prom here is the prom here is this is one of the you can recognize the influence of for the American culture by the proms, and before the COVID-19, it was almost every high school in Israel had a prom.
Yeah, and it's crazy because in this time we have the coronavirus, and they canceled all the proms, and lots of schools decided to do an underground proms, illegal proms meeting.
Oh my God.
We saw that in the news too, yeah.
Wow. Is that going to be your next film?
No.
I also want to ask about, I have a favorite shot in the film, and I just want to ask if there's anything more to it or not, but it's the character of Eden and the boyfriend, I forget the name, but they're standing in front of a shop window in front of those mannequins, and they just keep switching, and it's a wordless scene, but I absolutely loved it. And like, to me, it beautifully conveys that gender can be something fluid, and we can and could you talk a little bit about that?
I agree with you. I agree with you, and I will add that also, as we talked before, I think it also portrays the the multiple identities that we can handle, in modern life. And it's very, it's fragile even. You can also switch it very easily, which is nice, but it's also, it's very, the importance of the image, how we look. Sharon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to add that it's, in all our movies, we are always, while writing, we are searching for a scene, a quiet scene that will tell the whole story of the movie, I think, or will touch the theme of the movie.
Yeah, I think that captures it beautifully, especially with the mirrors. And you have a lot of mirrors in the film anyway, which it all kind of makes sense. So yeah, I really love that. Is there anything else you guys want to add or talk about? That's a no then.
It was important
Yeah, Tal, you
for
can
us,
talk about the law, the new law in the Israeli Knesset.
Which one?
Which about the converting.
They now in Israel, there is a trial to pass a law that will won't allow
Forbid.
to do. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Conversion.
No.
Gay conversion, because there is a lot of misleading, especially in the religious community in Israel, that gay is something that can be converted. You just need to want it, and you can be heterosexual. And that is something that is very dangerous and can lead to suicide and a lot of self-hatred, which is something that is, for young people, is very dangerous. So we hope
and
this
now in Israel it's illegal.
Okay. So now it's illegal, and so we support it, of course.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. No,
and we hope. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say we hope that soon we will pass this COVID-19 and we will be able to come back to the gay pride in Israel, which is one of the best gay pride
in the world, yes.
Okay, and I think what's important is like filmmakers like yourselves and the stories you're telling, and especially with Flawless. And it's a moving film, and I think it's so important. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
good
you.
luck with everything.
Much.
Yes, all the best.
Thank you. Enjoy the screening.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Keep safe.
Bye.
Bye. Aitäh teile ja sellega on meie vestlus lõppenud.